we're not the same shit.
What? We are live. Are you serious?
Recording
are you
in progress.
Out of your mind? Let's hit the record button, because the last thing we want to do is not record this cinematic masterpiece. What's going on, everybody? This is the Sons of Montezuma Podcast. I am your host, Mateo. You can find me on Twitter at Mateo San Diego. And just like everybody else in this crazy college football nation, Christmas is early for us. So I am joined by my two co-hosts. You know him. He's protecting our borders from sea to shining sea. He is back, and, well, he's off the IR enough to join us. What's going on, K5 James? What's up?
What's up, man? I'm just getting over a cold, so forgive me if my voice sounds strange, and I may have to hit the mute button every now and then to block out the coughing.
It's a sickness. Well, we're used to it, man. We're used to you being under the weather after games, so ain't nothing new.
Yeah, that's a different kind of under the weather, though.
And of course, up here on the top left, he is the dirtiest of the Dans. It's good to see him sporting the show hat on. That's a sick hat, man. That's one of the better ones they ever had, dude. It's Dirtball Dan. What's up, Dan?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I love these days. This is what we live for, man. Every year we get those new recruits in, the new members of the Aztec squad, and, you know, it doesn't matter how good or bad the year was. Like, this day, this early signing day is always exciting because it's just like a fresh start. You know what I mean? In your mind, we're in bowl season, but, you know, I'm excited to see who's next.
Yeah, it was a fun day. It's been a fun recruiting season. Some quiet time, which kind of got me away from it for a while, and then it started to pick up a little bit at the end here, but it seemed like a lot of the recruits we got pretty early on.
Yeah, it was a pretty early morning, man. I was checking my phone and Twitter and all that good stuff, and just like, okay, all right, you know, we're gonna go through things, the landscape of the whole recruiting world as we know it right now, because I mean, things have changed drastically, guys, like just within the last few years, man, with COVID, with, you know, the transfer portal. But before we go too far, just want to remind everybody who's joining on right now, I see you. I'm trying to keep tabs on everybody getting in the chat, in the conversation. We appreciate everybody for joining, all you Aztecs fans. And, you know, definitely want to remind you, I know it's too late to get gifts for Christmas shipped to you, but right now you can save 15% off on our online store. Just use the code word Monty, M-O-N-T-Y. You can get these awesome flannels, well, this Falk U t-shirt, all kind of different products in the store. You can still buy them now, 15% off. Make sure you take advantage of that. And, you know, I wanted to bring something up. We got to pay our respects before we get hype and crazy and start talking about the new. I don't want to ignore the situation at hand that we found out yesterday that all Aztec Nation heard about. And I know it hits us in particular because, you know, we're longtime Aztecs fans. We're not, you know, young dudes anymore. But Ronnie Hillman, you know, many in Aztec Nation, if you don't know who Ronnie Hillman was, you know, look him up. He didn't play that long ago. You know, definitely a young man at 31. But the news came out about Ronnie Hillman, and, you know, he's going through cancer, a really bad battle with cancer in hospice care right now, as the news showed. And, you know, we definitely want to pay our respects to, like we said, an Aztec legend, somebody who's well beloved in the program. We just saw him last year in Carson. He made an appearance, and you know, you just don't really take into account that something like this, you know, would make news. James, I know for you, this is a, you know, a bit more of a personal relationship. I've never met Ronnie. Is there anything you'd like to share about the news that broke yesterday, man?
No, man, you know, it caught me by surprise as well, because my relationship was more with Ronnie's dad. Him and I were really tight, and he passed away a few years ago from cancer as well, and unfortunately. But I would still send Ronnie a text every now and then, see, hey, man, just checking in on you, see how you're doing. And he would kind of respond here and there. And sometimes he wouldn't, sometimes he would. It just depends on, you know, he's living a busy young man's life. And I hadn't texted him in a while. We saw him last year. and I bumped into him and I said hi to him, and he looked good. I never, this like totally caught me by surprise yesterday, finding out this news. So I sent him a text. I haven't heard anything. I don't suspect he's able to answer right now, I imagine. And, I'm not going to call and bother because I'm sure he's got all his family around him and stuff like that. So I'm just, sending out, hoping the best, man. Maybe a miracle can happen and hopefully he can fight through it because he's a fighter for sure, man. That kid works his tail off. He worked his tail off to get into San Diego State. I don't know if you remember, he didn't qualify initially or the school didn't allow him. He qualified, but the school didn't allow him to come in. So he had to sit kind of a year in gray shirt. And so, he worked his tail off just to get into San Diego State. And then once he was in there, he worked his tail off to win that starting job. And then he worked his tail off to become a good player and become a 3rd round draft pick. So he's got that fight in him, man. So hopefully, fingers crossed, prayers up. If you're a religious person, send out an extra prayer for him and hopefully he can recover. He's a young man. He's got some kids. So, and he's got a great family. So hopefully, I wish all his family the best and hopefully he pulls through, man. I'm rooting for him.
Well said. Definitely our positivity going towards him and all his loved ones. So on to a little bit of good news that I saw today is Keyshawn Banks' birthday. As we know, all the guys are out in Hawaii right now, so we want to send out a big birthday wish to Keyshawn. He's out there, of course, on our NIL team, and just all the guys out there in Hawaii getting ready for the Hawaii Bowl, and that's gonna be played on Christmas Eve, as we all know, on ESPN. Middle Tennessee State. The season ended with 7 wins, and we're hoping to get that 8th, guys. How are we feeling about this bowl game coming up? We won't get too much into it, but how are you guys feeling Christmas Eve?
I think it's a pretty big game. The record feels different than by winning this game versus losing it for the season. Hopefully, they're out there, they're focused and they're trying to win and they're not, just out there. But I really would like to see a win. I think it's could help us get some momentum going for this next year. And I don't think it's going to be easy by any chance. But we're there to win. Hopefully they do what it takes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a battle, man. This is not a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm excited to see how they do against an offense like MTSU has. And I'm excited to see another game of Maiden as the quarterback. It's kind of been a while. That Air Force game was rough. So I'm hoping to see something a little better against a more susceptible defense. So see what they can open up the passing game a little more maybe and give us kind of like a preview of next year, what next year is going to look like.
Everybody's been talking about like, okay, are the Aztecs going to bring in a new offensive coordinator? I know we kind of discussed things in our last football episode as far as coaching changes and all that stuff. And, really shouldn't be expecting one. But he did say, Coach Horton, I believe they did say he was in the interim basis. So I think this game is kind of an interesting situation. I mean, do you want to bring in a new OC next year and a new offense, or keep Coach Horton and see how this game goes, see how he does against this team, and okay, let's just keep the ball rolling, right?
I mean, one thing you have to wonder if Horton even wants to coach anymore, or even Horton wants that position. I don't like speculating on whether coaches are going to be back, or I wait till they come or they decide, and then we could talk about it then. But it's never been an interest of mine. I know the message boards love all that, offensive coordinator talk, fire here, hire here. It's not my thing, and hopefully he performs well. And if he's back, he's back, and I'll support him.
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable either way, man. I wouldn't be disappointed if Horton was the guy next year. It's not like basically the offensive staff remaining the same going into next year as it is currently instituted or composed. So yeah, that to me, it's not a huge deal. It would be nice to kind of get some new blood in the system to, because even if they bring in a new staff or just the offensive coordinator, when you're switching from different styles of spread, it's not a huge change. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Maiden's played in, he played in the air raid. He played in just a regular spread, a power spread, and then our funky version of the spread. So I'm not too worried about him adapting to whatever offense. If they do bring in a new coach, I'm not worried about that. So to me, either way, I'm happy. Just depending on who they would hire. If Horton doesn't feel like doing it, or they decide not to let him do it, like Dan said, let's wait and see what they do, and we'll talk about it later once they make that decision.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see.
Either way, I'm excited to see this game, see how the offense does after that Air Force loss. And okay, let's right the ship back again. Finish strong. Rob's HK says it's a must-win game. You got to finish strong. Horton has proven to be a very successful OC for the duration of his tenure so far. I tend to agree with that. So let's see what he can do. Let's let him finish the season off. And hey, if we start off next year in Maiden's last season, I'm all good. So. All right, Dan, let's talk about recruiting. Stepping into this 2023 year, guys, it's like uncharted territory, man. The transfer portal is just absolutely nuts. You got guys coming from FCS to FBS. You got JC guys to factor in, extended COVID years. This is probably like the last year that people could take advantage of that COVID year, I would think. But, I mean, what are we looking at here, man, with this year's class? What are your overall sentiments?
Yeah, if I had to do like some general observations in both like NCAA football and San Diego State and how they did or what happened this year, I think like I was mentioned something earlier that some of the fringe FBS prospects are going to have a tough time now getting committable FBS offers when this is the game of transfers now. And it looks like what San Diego State did is they got their high school kids in early, the ones they really wanted, got them, and they actually did a really good job of keeping them committed. I think we lost one after a verbal. And then we're holding scholarships for D1 transfers. And I know we brought a ton in, and I know we swung and missed on most. We didn't really do good on our D1 transfers, and I think what the staff did, and I think what a lot of schools will do going forward, is they tried to supplement those misses with JC guys, because you need people that could play right away now. You need them because everybody else, every other team is getting players that could play right away, and people aren't going to do these 4 or 5 year rebuilding projects anymore. They're looking to get these transfers in. And last year, San Diego State did really good on the transfer market. They had some help by having brothers on the team, by having some San Diego connections, like with Burmeister and, stuff like that. This year, it's been a struggle. There's still time. But a lot of the good, especially a lot of the offensive linemen and defensive linemen, which we were really targeting on the transfer market, was really difficult for us. And I think it's probably going to be like that, going forward. The way, get those high school kids in early, save some scholarships, find out what kids are not going to be on your team any longer, and then maybe fill in some gaps on the second signing period.
Yeah, that's the key thing to remember, that this is the early signing period. So, we look at the grades, look at how everything shakes out after this week. I mean, it's a big chunk, but it's not over yet. And there's still some time to figure some other things out.
Yeah, I think like you said, Dan, the initial core that they got committed early, those are all like really high quality prospects. Like I'm pretty pleased with the bulk of the class that was pretty much been committed since like what? September, something like that.
We went through it seems like 3 months where we didn't have any commitments. And one thing I kind of wonder about is some of these kids committed pretty early. We have the new stadium, right? we have an exciting year. And then as the season went on, maybe the year wasn't as exciting, so it could have slowed down some of our transfer market. It could have slowed down some of our high school recruits, because I think we took 13 high school kids. That's not very many. So I'm just kind of curious of what factors may have played in, like maybe the hype of the stadium and, everything we had going for it. And then we had such a weird year, weird circumstances, weird things going on, that I feel like we lost some momentum recruiting.
It's definitely a weird year, like you said, with those great transfers that we had come in on both sides of the ball. But to kind of, make some coaching changes midway, it was exciting to see that we did hold on to some of the guys that we're about to go through. And, I think we're back on that right track. The 8 wins potentially, that's still a successful season. It's not the season we all wanted, but I think in the end, like you said, with the stadium, with the season, the way it turned course and they righted the ship, we're able to do some good things. So let's see. Our good friends over at Aztec Recruits on Twitter, if you're not following them, you definitely need to, because they keep up on everything. Our good friends there were able to share with us some information on the last few recruiting classes at San Diego State. And it's pretty interesting. Like this year's class overall, it's generally at this point, we're looking at 3rd in the Mountain West. But when it comes to the average player overall, I believe we're highest in the Mountain West. And so that's pretty cool to see. I mean, it's, 3rd, okay. We got good competition with Fresno and Boise, but us 3 are always going to be at the top of the recruiting ranks. It's kind of like pick a order, 1, 2, or 3. It's going to be Boise, San Diego State, and Fresno. So nothing to be, too upset about there. Some of our best commits in the last 2 classes, our buddies were saying, are offensive skill players. When you think of Lucky Sutton last year, when you think of, Napier this year, when you think of Javance Johnson this year at quarterback. So that's pretty good to see as well. I'm really excited about those skill positions. And wow, I'm eager to see Hassan Mahasin in his progress. Last year we talked about it. That was a really big get. And, I don't know how, I've seen social media videos and it seemed like the progress was going really well as far as his injury coming back. So that could be something that could be proven to be like really important next year and moving forward as far as that goes.
Yeah, I think the thing that sticks out to me about this class, without digging into each player individually, is the size of the defensive backs. Pretty much every defensive back they recruited this year is like 6'1" or taller almost. So that was pretty cool to see. I like that. I like going with the preference for the size over smaller guys that we it seems like we normally recruit sometimes some safeties that are like 5'10", 5'11", somewhere around there. It seems like they went really heavy on like really long, rangy guys, kind of like in the, I know he moved on, but kind of like in the Baskerville mold, the kind of long, rangy guys. So I like that. That was kind of cool to see. That was the real noticeable thing that I saw. Just kind of like the 1,000-foot view of the recruiting class.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, should we get into it? Should we get into the 18 new Aztecs that signed today in the early signing period? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So let's bring up number 18 on our list. And that is going to be, his name is Tupu Alualo. He is a defensive lineman. He's 6'1", 285. He's a junior in his class. He's from Honolulu, Hawaii. He played at Moanalua. I think I got that right. So he also played 2 seasons at St. Louis High in Honolulu, and he helped the Crusaders to an 11-1 record. He played 1 season at Mount Sac, which is San Antonio College. I believe that's in the Inland Empire, right? Is that where that's at?
I think so, yeah.
And he started as a defensive lineman there for the Mounties. And man, we're looking at some game film of him here. Anything you guys got to have for Tupu?
The interesting thing about him is first of all, it's a need for sure. We're losing a lot on the defensive line. These are one of these positions where I think they would have loved to have a D1 transfer come in. But at least with him, if you watch his tape, you watch his physicality, and you watch his size, he seems like someone that could play right away and be a part of maybe the 2 deep and spell or start or whatever. Actually be an impact player next year. I know some people that I follow in some of these websites were pretty high on him, and they think he can make an impact. From an offer standpoint, I don't know of any other offer that he was given. And once we did offer, and I think we brought him in pretty early, I think he may have shut down his recruitment as well. But you don't want to be like put a Tavai tag or someone like that on, but he's a smaller defensive tackle that's pretty explosive. And, we've seen how that's worked the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw his film. It kind of reminds me of that Tavai type of player. I'm not going to say that's the impact he's going to have, but definitely like a shorter squatter guy, but that can still explode and be quick. So yeah, that's exciting. And like you said, at the very least, he seems like a guy that's ready to play now, and we need a lot of that based on what we're losing this year.
I mean, a player like Jonah, man, what were the odds that he was going to come in and just light everything on fire from the JC ranks as well, right? So, yeah, I think Jonah set the standard. We're always going to have those hopes for a player like that to come in that position, man. Crazy.
And it shows how hard it is, though, for Jonah's situation shows how hard it is for a JC kid to come in, because once he was playing, you couldn't remove Jonah, but it took him time. He wasn't an instant starter by any means. I think he got playing time more from injuries or whatever. So these kids like him, he have to show out quick and show out fast and try to climb up the 2 deep pretty quickly.
All right, so that's number 18. So let's move it on along to number 17. And let me see if I can pronounce the name right. Talib Salahuddin. That sound official, James? That sound official?
Yeah, Talib Salahuddin.
Talib, okay. Now, I looked it up. Talib, the name means seeker of knowledge, and Salahuddin means the righteousness of the faith. I'm not Middle Eastern, but everybody mistakes me for being Arab or something like that, so I had to look that up. Anyways, he's a defensive lineman, 6'5", 235. He's a junior, and he's from Philadelphia. That's his hometown, so he's probably calling everything a John and calling everybody jabronis, but he played 2 seasons at Riverside College, I'm seeing, in Riverside, California, which is cool. Inland Empire, stand up. And he helped the Tigers to win the state championship, I guess, right? They're at 12-1, the community college, I guess, state championship, which is pretty crazy.
Is Tom Kraft still the guy there, man? I know he was there for a little bit.
Well, man, you might be right.
Yeah, let me see. Let me just Google it real quick, just for my personal. Oh yeah, I think he is. That's interesting. That's funny.
Aircraft, man. Okay. All right.
Okay.
6'5".
Sorry to derail the conversation. Seeing that Riverside CC got me thinking. It turned the wheels.
So I think, okay, so we brought in on a lot of different. We looked at a lot of different junior college defensive ends, linebackers, D1 transfers. So I think we'd be happy to get him and get him committed when they did, because we were still really going after him late in the period. I mean, it's hard, he plays for junior college. He has some modest numbers, but if you were going to look at his, size, and when James was talking about like length, 6'5", hopefully he could display a little bit more quick twitch, being, outside threat. Beyond that, I'm just waiting to see him play and see what he could really do.
Yeah, he definitely has the frame and the wingspan that you like. Yeah, I kind of agree with Dan. I'd like to see a little more explosiveness, a little quick twitch action out of him. But, there's a lot of reasons that we may not see that on the tape or whatever. And we'll see once he gets into pads in San Diego State, see how it goes. And he might be able to display that a little more. But yeah, you definitely, I would rather take the chance on guys with the prototypical build and have them miss than take a shot on a guy who has a dog in him, but may just not have the size to play at the next level, you know?
And if he doesn't look at some of that quick twitch stuff is God-given. He could still put on some size, maybe hold an edge, you know, and still be like a factor on at a defensive end. He doesn't necessarily need to be, you know, Lawrence Taylor out there.
All right. So Talib Salahuddin, defensive line, number 17. Okay, let's move it on to number 16. We are looking at Raphael Williams Jr. He's a wide receiver, 5'10", 165 pounds, junior out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, his hometown. He played at Diller High. Check him out. He's telling everybody, be quiet. All the haters, shut up. Clapping his hands. Got the football in his hand. Look at that. He knows how to look at that two-step. Look at that. Oh, man. He got the two-step down. I want to see that in the end zone. Make a noise. I love these videos, man. That stadium, that walkway is amazing. If you haven't seen that yet, you guys got to get out there and see that. But, man. So, Fort Lauderdale, they are known for their key lime pies and seafood. And with a name like Raphael, did you know a delicacy down there in that area? They eat sea turtles, bro.
Oh, really?
If I could ask Raphael a question, I would want to know if he's ever tasted a sea turtle, man. I want to know that. But he played 2 seasons at Western Carolina, a FCS program. And this past year, he logged 120 catches for over 1,600 yards and 15 touchdowns, man. He's lighting it up. What do you guys got to say about Raphael?
I think this is one of the kids that I think we probably wanted early on. And, you know, Western Carolina actually has a decent program. And if you watch his highlights, he mentions him being like a really good route runner, and you actually see it in the highlights. One of the things that I think San Diego State has lacked in the past is the ability just to create space and to do so by running good routes, not, you know, and I think this is something that he could do. If you see him in these highlight packages, you'll see that there's no one really by him. You know, he creates a lot of space. And that's something, especially if we have Jesse Matthews moving on next year, that's something we're going to need.
Yeah, I saw he was not just SoCon, he's a freshman All-American his first year at Western Carolina. And that's, you know, pretty impressive. I know everybody says FCS, you know, they still play high-level football in the FCS. And if you're a high-level FCS player, you're a pretty good level FBS player. So I definitely like that. I like his little, like you said, he's kind of like that quick twitch guy. He's like not so much a burner, but he's quick. And we kind of need some more guys like that to work the slot. So it'll be interesting to see how he can be that guy that can maybe, you know, kind of shake somebody off and turn like a little quick, the little, what do you call that? The 2-man game on the spread game on the outside and kind of break something loose and turn it into a big game. So yeah, I'm definitely all for getting little quick guys like this that have already proven they can produce at the college level. So it seems like a big pickup for us.
You know, people talk about like his lack of size, but I mean, we need route runners. We need like receivers that, you know, that are just going to create space. We had sizes last year. I mean, both our wide receivers were decently sized with Shavers. But what was the kid? Who was the freshman walk-on who did great this last year for us?
Oh, Shaw.
Like Shaw's who when I see him, I think of more of like a Shaw type player, and he really clicked with me. So I think it could be interesting to see how the feel that Maiden has with Raphael Williams as well.
All right. Raphael Williams, number 16, wide receiver from Fort Lauderdale, Florida hometown. Okay, let's move it along. Number 15, we're looking at a big offensive lineman, and he goes by the name of Kyle Stanback. 6'7", 265. Now, this is a freshman, and he's out of Newberry Park High in Pasadena, California is his hometown, but Newberry Park is over there, I believe. I think that's on the west side, closer to, he went to Ventura College in 2021. So I believe he moved from the defense to the offense during his time. I think during that brief Ventura College time and whatnot. And I see it listed that he has a brother who played basketball at Stanford recently. I don't think he's there anymore, but so, you know, athletic family, went to North Carolina A&T or something like that, but he didn't play in 2019. So he's got a journey. He's had himself already a little bit of a journey, but man, Kyle Stanback, I don't know if you guys know much about him.
I know that he's a 2-for-2 kid. When you look at him, you're a little concerned about his size right now. It says 260 on here. I think, you know, from my read, he might be closer to 275. I think if you could get him up to 285, 290, he's probably fine and he could probably play. But you have 2 years, and it shows that we needed some transfers. We needed some help on the offensive line. Hopefully he can contribute from day one, because I think that's why he's being brought in. The funny thing is if you look at his 247 profile, it says interior offensive line, which I can imagine him playing on the inside. So I'm just curious to know what they see, what the staff's expecting, and I wonder what they think as far as how quickly he can contribute, because he needs to right away.
Yeah, Dan and I were kind of talking about him the other day, and because I was kind of doing a deep dive into the offensive line recruits, and I really like what I see. He's got the wingspan. He's like a prototypical FBS outside tackle, but he's just so light in his hips, and he's so raw. I wish he was a 3 to play 2 guy, because having him redshirt 1 year to put on size, get used to playing at the FBS level, I think he could be like a 2-year starter, because he's got really good feet, really quick feet. He's really good at using his hands. It's just he doesn't have much behind him right now when he's trying to set his base to block somebody in pass protection or to try to lean on somebody to run block. So maybe they feel really good about their strength and training program with Coach Hall, and they think they can. Is he going to be able to come in for the spring, or is he going to be a fall guy? Do you guys know? That may be a good question. If he can be here for the spring, I think it's possible they could get him up to 290 by the time the season rolls around. But if he's going to be a fall qualifier, then I think that's going to be tough. He's going to have to do it on his own. Like you said, Dan, it's his ability to play right away is the big question. But I think there's potential in there, and I think that's what they see and why they're offering him, because he's got like that kind of like prototypical size and wingspan and foot capability. So we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes.
We were talking about it. I mean, maybe he's good enough that you think having him play just 1 year is worth it, and it's worth giving him a scholarship now, knowing he may not contribute. Maybe I'm not sure our offensive line numbers as far as attrition and graduation goes next year, but maybe that's where they're thinking for, down the line.
Yeah, it's a good point. It may be a depth thing for this year while they build him up. Let him just be kind of depth. And then next year, I think Crenshaw Dixon graduates next year if he doesn't use his COVID year. And so just having him step in for Crenshaw Dixon in 2024.
All right, Kyle Stanback. I want to, who I think it is, I think it's La Mesa Berry or an impersonator. I want to appreciate the correction that it's Thousand Oaks area, not whatever I said before. All right, number 15, Kyle Stanback. Let's move it along. Number 14. Now, this is a name that I heard, and I got a little excited, man, when you look at the measurables, and that's Sam Dunnell. Defensive back, 6'4", 195. His hometown is San Juan Capistrano. He went to St. Margaret's Episcopal School. And man, you know, you think of San Juan Capistrano, that's a beautiful area over there. He played basketball as well. He was labeled an athlete by 247 Sports in the recruiting process, but he picked San Diego State over Oregon State and Washington State. Am I reading that correctly, guys? What do you guys think?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorites. And the thing about him is his recruitment came out of nowhere. No one that's been following it, who's been seeing watching Twitter, really knew or expected him to commit. So I didn't really know anything about him until I saw the commitment. I watched his tape, and I thought, good God, this guy's gonna be a star. He plays really physical. And his tackling, his length. I want him on defense. I know someone mentioned that they might see him on offense as a wide receiver, but I would like him as like a safety, maybe an outside linebacker eventually.
Let him play both, man. Let him play both.
This is like I instantly thought, oh my God, we got lucky on this kid. I have really high hopes for him.
Yeah, I see him on defense as well. He kind of reminds me of, this is an unfair comparison, but I kind of see like little Taylor Mays in him.
Wow.
I don't remember if you remember Taylor Mays, but
that's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Kind of big, rangy, fast, physical, big DB. And man, that would be I really do hope they keep him on the defensive side of the ball, but maybe he may want to play offense. So let him try it out on offense and then, okay, kid, you want to make some money? Come play on defense.
I mean, if anyone gets a chance, go watch his tape. Like the kid
they're watching it now. They're watching it now, man.
Yeah, the kid will like smack you in the mouth. Like this is one you could be excited to follow. Someone compared him about Baskerville, and I kind of see it from the size. I always pictured Baskerville more of a free safety. Where I think this guy is someone that kind of closer to the box and play a little bit more physical. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what they end up doing with him.
Yeah.
Well, we got the game film going right now. His highlights there, and man, he just stands out. I mean, he's so big out there roaming around, and geez, I'm ready.
Yeah, and he's not shy about contact at all too, which you love. You picture these basketball players, they're not down to stick their face in there on football, but he is not one of those guys.
Someone made the comparison to Pinkins.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I was like, damn,
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, he played in the NFL, so I mean, we'll see what Sam Dunnell does. But it's not just. And by the way, it's the people that I respect and kind of like follow and listen to what their takes are. They love him too. So it's this isn't. I'm not just unique in my observation.
I see you, Rick Torado. I see you. Wow, this dude, Sam Dunnell, looks legit. Get this guy in the lineup ASAP. That's what I love about signing day and recruits, man. It's just, you get Sam Dunnell, who we were not expecting in the beginning of this thing. And it's just a recharge in the system, man. You're excited about seeing this kid out there.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities, man. He may come in and not do anything, but it's nice to kind of picture what could happen. I know, I remember signing day watching Rashad Penny's tape from, Norwalk? And like, holy hell, how the hell did we land this kid? Stuff like that, so.
All right, Braden, I see you.
I remember seeing Matt Morin's tape and saying the same thing, and he never did anything on the football field for us, so it goes both ways.
I see Braden. This guy's like a mixture of Barku and McMorris, in my opinion.
McMorris is a good call too.
Yeah, just a bigger McMorris.
Well, we're gonna need it. McMorris is coming back, but like you guys said, we're losing one of our favorite players going back to Texas, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard where he's going.
Baskerville going to Texas Tech. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. We'll see.
Hey, you know what? If a kid wants to go home,
Yeah.
Good for him. I enjoyed watching him play here, and I wish him all the best. Unless we play them, then. But otherwise, I wish him the best, man.
Are you calling the Big 12? Are you calling the Big 12, James? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, let's move it along to number 13 on the list of newest Aztecs for 2023. Number 13 has got one of the best names. Well, I don't know if it's the best name, but it's an interesting name. And that is, his name is Sinn Brennan. He ain't sinning, but he's winning. Defensive line, 6'5", 215 pounds. Hometown is Honolulu, but he played at Los Alamitos High, which translates to the Little Cottonwoods, Los Alamitos. That's actually near Carson, so maybe he got to see some of our games last year and whatnot. So he helped lead the Griffins to 3 consecutive undefeated Sunset League seasons, going 15-0 in league play, and helped the team to a 24-5 overall record. He had offers from Colorado State, Nevada, and San Jose. He's a 3-star. What do you guys feel about Sinn Brennan?
Yeah, this is another good one, or I think it's another one we might have been lucky on, as he committed sight unseen. He hadn't even been to San Diego State. He had offers from Colorado State, Nevada, San Jose State. He really, if you look, like write-ups from Biggins or the other California writers in 247, he really popped in all his playoff games. And this is, I think, it's the same school where they had that running back that went to Colorado State, Damian Henderson, that we were also recruiting. So there were a lot of people watching him, and he performed when he needed to. And we got a commitment before he came in. He has good size. He's athletic. I think he's one to watch.
Well, let's not just watch, because Shin pronounced his name Shin. He's in the chat right now. What's going on, Shin? Thank you for joining us, man. Glad that you were enjoying the chat and the feed and everything. So we're excited to have you, bro. So pumped to get to work is what Shin says. So we got it right, Shin.
All right. Shin. We'll make sure you remember that. Yeah, like you said, man, he's got that prototypical build for an edge guy you want. He could bulk up, maybe even play hand on the ground as an edge setter. But yeah, he's kind of long, rangy. That's exactly the kind of guys we're looking for. So,
and from some of those people that like it, I mean, he's one of the higher rated guys from the 247 score on this year's class. And like I said, if you go back, if you have the opportunity, read some of the articles. You'll be excited.
All right, I'm tempted to ask Shin some questions in there right now, but nah, man, we'll have to save that for another time, Shin. We gotta get you on the podcast sometimes, maybe. But I'm excited, man. We're definitely excited to have you down here.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right. Number 12 of newest Aztecs in 2023. We are looking at. I'm excited for this man, Briley Barron. Now look at this dude, number 76. You look at him wagging the finger. He's like, no. Look at that, man, clapping it up, making some noise. Not afraid to show the belly. Look at this guy, man, hyping the crowd up, man. Love it. Animal on the offensive line, 6'4", 310 pounds, out of Texarkana, Texas. He's wild and crazy in his head. I got family that supposedly were in Texarkana, so back in the days, I got a connection right there. He played everywhere along the offensive line through high school. He was an academic all-state honoree, and I believe he ran track, baseball, power lifted, everything, man. What does this guy not do?
Awesome.
Yeah. Right.
So there, like, look, this is one of the kids where there's not a lot out there on him. His recruitment is quiet. I mean, there's a film that you guys have. He could be a sleeper. He's from Texas. He's big, and I kind of like his personality. You could tell he's confident, and you could kind of see that in the way he plays, as far as his aggressiveness. It looks like he really enjoys, the physicalness of football. So we'll see what they could do with him. I know, James, you got to watch most of his tape, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I did a deep dive on the lineman because, that's my kink. Yeah, dude, I said he's raw, and he plays kind of high, as most kids in high school that are 6'4", 6'5" plus do. But he plays mean. I mean, mean, man. He was just killing people. Like, after he's one of those guys that plays to and through the whistle, judging by the tape I saw. So I think this offensive line kind of needs some more of that attitude in it. And I like that he's going to bring that. He's going to need a little bit of time to develop. I think he may need to lose a little weight, but I really love his attitude. Like you guys are talking about, he brings in an aggressiveness that shows up on video. So if he continues to do that and, redevelops his body under the strength and training program, he's one of those guys that can be like an Embernati type guy that brings that attitude to the whole offensive line. So yeah, I'm really excited. He's kind of one of those guys, he might fly under the radar and turn into like one of the best interior offensive linemen we've had here. So I'm really excited to see him develop, how his career goes.
I don't know this name, but Robert Asensio says Shane Irwin, who ended up at Boise State, kind of reminds him. Does that ring a bell to you guys?
He was a defensive end.
Maybe
kind of reminds me. Oh, okay. Anyways, going ahead, Dan.
Yeah, you're right, James. And you know what? We could have missed a little bit on the offensive line. We could have missed a little of Dunkel's attitude a little bit last year, and maybe he's one of these kids that could bring it back. They seem to have like that same like love for getting after people.
Yeah, we need those guys that kind of push the limits of the whistle. You got to play to and sometimes through that whistle. So hopefully he can kind of help bring that to the offensive line, and it'll spread around a little bit.
Pushing dudes over the benches like 10 yards out of the sidelines. Remember that?
Killing yourself, trying to kill the other guy.
Dunkel was an animal. Loved it. All right, so Briley Barron, number 12 on our list. Got that Texas swag as Jalen Maiden would refer to. So, yeah, excited to continue that pipeline from Texas. Ricky, I love big old belly old linemen. All right. Number 11 on the list. I know we were talking about this one, Dan, earlier, and that is a 5'8", 170 receiver, Tyson Berry out of Chapel Hill High. Check him out. He's swagging, got the hair swinging. He's number one. Yeah, he's got a lot of confidence. He's not lacking in that. So famous people from Tyler, Texas, his hometown. Miranda Lambert, Don Henley, Matthew McConaughey, and now Tyson Berry.
This fool said Miranda Lambert.
I could say Leanne Womack, but I don't know if you guys listen to Leanne Womack.
No, I don't.
You're lucky I'm sick, man. I would have murdered you for that.
So Tyson Berry is one of these players that San Diego State usually always seems to have on the team. I mean, he's like a Busby, a Bird, someone that could play multi-positions. Like you kind of want to get out in space. Obviously, there's going to be concerns about his size, 5'7" and 160 pounds. And I didn't get to watch a lot of his tape this last year. I mean, so I wonder like the type of production he's going to bring. I know he did a lot of kick returns, stuff like that. The thing I did notice is like he has some like elite level quickness. Someone might say jukes or foot speed. So I think that could play at the next level. He loves San Diego State. He seems like a great kid. So he's another one that I'm just interested to see how they plan on using him. And if it's more like you getting him in there for design plays, or you put him in the slot and just see what he could do, how much space he could create. He was interesting. They accepted his commitment pretty early on. So they must really like him.
Yeah, he's got that elite wiggle, as they say, man. He can make people miss. He reminds me of that receiver from Boise State. Oh God, now it's killing me. I'm not gonna remember his name. The slot they had at Boise State a couple years ago. I think he went on to play in the NFL. Anyway, he's one of those guys that if you get him the ball in space, he can make some things happen, because he's gonna embarrass people that try to tackle him with his quickness. So yeah, I'm excited to see what, like you said, if they're gonna do some like design stuff for him, or just put him in the slot and teach him how to run routes properly and well, working under our guy. Damn it, where the hell is it?
You think
working under our guy? Was it Williams? Oh, it's killing me here. The kid coming from Damn it, it's not showing up on my list now.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Sorry, Williams. I was right, Williams.
Blame it on the sickness.
Oh, Raphael Williams?
Yeah. Maybe
okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about a coach.
No. Study under him a little bit, learn how to be a route technician like him, and hopefully it'll help him develop and use that elite quickness he has. So yeah, I'm excited for him, man. I love I like those little burning slot receivers, man. I don't care how tall they are. It doesn't matter to me as long as they can get open and make people miss.
Well, I just love that we can see it on the screen right now. You're talking about his jukes and his speed, and I mean, you're just looking at it right now. I mean, he's burning everybody. He got offers from Arkansas, Kansas State, Louisiana Tech, and UTSA to name a couple.
You did?
Or interest, at least.
I think it might have been more interest.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'll take it. 3-star, right? I mean, that's,
Yeah. He's a productive player from Texas. So, that's like 3 stars automatically. Pretty much.
All right. So number 11, Tyson Berry. Let's move it on to number 10. Number 10 on the list. Who do we got? And that is a safety, 6 foot 190, Jelani McLaughlin. Citrus Valley High. He lettered 4 years there. He was the co-defensive player of the league and a first-team pick as a senior. He picked San Diego State over Washington, Oregon State, Washington State, Arizona. A lot of Pac-12, a lot of Pac-10 schools offering. So, any opinions on Jelani?
So Jelani is one of these kids that we got a commitment early on, and we were able to hang on to him. Yeah. People love him. I think he had over 300 tackles. He's a tackling machine. And I think in San Diego State's system, I think he's going to be there to make a lot of plays, a lot of tackles as well. He was recruited by Kyle Hoke, which Kyle Hoke is a really good recruiter. He's brought in some really good safeties, some really good impact players in that region. And he's one of these kids that early on, he helped create some momentum by just his commitment. You know how it works in recruiting. Like you get a great player that has offers from all over the place in. It makes it easier for others to commit as well. So getting him in early helped with some of these other kids later in the year.
Yeah, he's the one that reminds me more of McMorris when I watch him play. He's that kind of guy that's kind of a cleanup specialist. Nothing gets by him. He's like a shortstop kind of out there playing in the defensive backfield. So yeah, I'm really excited to see this play. Like Dan said, he was a good get we got early on, and they were able to hold on to him throughout the process. So I'm pleased to see him come out here and see what he can do.
All right. Number 10, Jelani McLaughlin. Let's move it on because we're coming down inside to some of the big boys we're looking at. Offensive lineman, 6'4", 290, number 9 on our list, and that is Ryan Silver. He committed pretty early as well, right, guys?
Yeah, he was. Again, it's great for the staff to get the early commits because you get to game plan for what you want to do for the rest of the year, and you could swing for the fence on some other kids, knowing that you already have some quality kids committed. And this is our specialty school these days. Juniper Serrera. We had 2 kids last year from them. The missile who had his ACL and injury, and then the offensive lineman that came from there last year. I can't remember his name at the top of my head.
It was as a party, I believe.
Yeah. There you go, Drew.
Yeah.
There you go. So he was getting him from another good program. He probably felt pretty familiar with the program, and then like I said, I think last year it's a good school to have a really good relationship with. So now it's going to be our turn to turn these kids into some good players, so we could continue to have that pipeline. The cool thing is he had offers from other foes within our conference, really well rated by 247. I don't really go by composite, by the way, because composite uses ESPNs and they do nothing on the West Coast, so they have very little. I trust 247's on its own. There's the other one that's new. You guys could take a look. IO3, I think it is. But just 247 at 86, he's well graded.
Yeah, the other one is On 3, and they don't really have a lot of West Coast presence yet. They're still kind of in their infancy, but I'm sure they're going to poach the guys from 247 eventually, because they kind of were all the same ones that left Rivals altogether and started 247. But anyway, this kid, I really like. The first thing I sent to Dan after I watched his tape was just polished. He's a guy, he looks like he could come in and play like next year. Obviously you want to let him mature a little bit, but like in terms of like technique and physicality and just the way he carries himself on the field and the way he moves his feet, uses his hands, and on a play he doesn't like stick to one guy. A lot of times you see tapes of these kids just blowing out a kid and just driving him all over the field. And that's all well and good. It looks good, but this guy, he was blowing a guy out and move on to the next guy, look for another guy to block. So a lot of really good things I saw. I was really, really pleased with what I saw, and polished is like the best way I can describe him. He looks like, I don't think he's going to be sitting very long before he gets some playing time.
Do you think, James, because I'm looking at he was a 3-year starter on the offensive line, so he's got that experience and the technique, like what you're saying, but he also played rugby. I don't know if that factors into anything on the offensive line. I like when I hear that, because I mean, rugby, man, that's a whole different sport. But what do you think about that?
You always like your players to play multiple sports, man. Like that's one thing. All kids don't get specialized in a sport. I love offensive linemen that wrestled, played rugby. Any of that is all good, man, because you know that rugby, it helps build up that stamina, and same thing with wrestling. It helps build up that stamina and using your leverage. So yeah, dude, nothing will hurt playing other sports. So I love seeing guys that play multiple sports, like even like especially tackles, offensive linemen that play basketball. That's really good because it teaches them how to use their feet. So I'm super stoked to see guys playing multiple sports in high school.
All right, Ryan Silver at number 9, and Answer 321 said, little fun fact, he went to the same school that Tom Brady was at. I guess Tom Brady's from that program. So, okay. All right. Bay Area.
Yeah,
number 8.
They're like a national powerhouse, dude. So to have a pipeline opening with them is really good.
13-1 this past year. Crazy. All right, let's move forward to number 8 on the list. Wide receiver Baylin Brooks, 6'2", 195, Pasadena High, 3-star. He earned league MVP honors, and wow, looks like almost 1,300 all-purpose yards. Man, look at him. Baylin Brooks.
Nah, he's a baller, and one of the kids that we were able to get early on. Some solid offers, some good grades from both the composite and the 247. We were able to hold on to him. He had a good year. He put up some numbers. So I'm curious to see how quickly he could get on the field, because he has good size at 6'2", 195 pounds. So hopefully he's someone that we could develop quickly and kind of could fill some needs going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I love those lanky receivers, just like I love, lanky DBs. It's for the same reason. They're all fighting for that space. And he's kind of got that, he's listed at 6'2", but he kind of seems like he's bigger. And but he's still explosive when you look at his film. So that's really cool to see. And like Dan said, he's got that size and physicality. He's one of those guys that might have a chance to break into the lineup earlier than foreseen. He kind of reminds me, he's got a little bit of that Jesse Matthews kind of make stuff happen. Catch the ball. He's got a pretty good catch radius, I guess you would say. So yeah, I really like what he's bringing to the table.
That's cool. I was just about to ask like comparables to what we've seen before, but I couldn't really think of him. But okay, Jesse, man.
You know what? I was thinking Jesse early on, but I mean, you feel like any good receiver that's it's could be compared to Jesse. So I just we'll see what he brings. I'm excited.
Yeah. Jesse has freaky catch radius. Yeah, he's not quite that, but I'm just saying it's kind of in in that conversation.
Freaking Jesse Matthews. Go buy that t-shirt while you can. Because, hey, while you can. Okay, we're getting close. Number 7. Let's bring up number 7 on the list. Another name that's fun to say. And that is Caleb Otlewski, linebacker, edge defender, 6'4", 225, also out of Texas, Melissa, Texas. Went to Melissa High. And, well, he's a 3-star. Got offers, or I believe he got offers from Nebraska, Minnesota, SMU, North Texas. So, okay. What do you guys got to say about look at Caleb? What's going on over here?
You talking to me?
Talking. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know you said what's going on over here. I don't know.
Just watching the video.
This is one of my guys. This is one I'm really excited for. He actually does have some of the twitch, the athleticism. He's a beast. Great size. I was really hoping that we were going to get a commitment from him. Great job by both Maddox and Horton to get him in. He's someone that could play probably throughout the Pac-12. I was so thankful that we were able to keep him committed. He could really play. He's really productive. Look at that film. Like, he's going to be, if you watch the film, you're going to be really excited about this kid. He flies around. He's fast. He's athletic. He's a playmaker. Be pumped and ready to watch this kid play.
Yeah, this kid, when he committed, I was stoked. I think Dan and I texted each other when he committed. And like, man, I hope we hold on to him. He's what we all thought, Randy Ricks, who else? Those rangy edge guys we were all waiting for.
Even Lecky from last year.
Yeah. He's what we thought they were going to be. I think he's the guy. He's like, damn it, I can't remember from last year or 2 years ago, the recruiting class from 2 years ago.
Oliver.
Yes.
Dominic Oliver.
Yes, Dominic Oliver. He's that kind of player. And I'm really excited to see what he can do, man, because he's got the size, the athleticism, the quick twitch ability. He's going to be a terror, especially in passing situations, but in the run game as well for getting TFLs. So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Robert on the chat is saying he looks like Kabir Gbaja-Biamila. Hey, let's pump the brakes when comparing KGB now. Let's see. Let's see if he can live up to that. That's Hall of Fame talent right there. NFL Hall of Fame talent. But yeah, man, I love what I'm seeing on the film, man. Just watch it. It speaks for itself. Who do we got next? Who are we looking at next? Number 6 on the list, Brady Nassar. Now, this one is interesting to me, right? Because this was a recent discovery. I think it's, there's no mystery that when Coach Prime came to Colorado, there were going to be some shakeup. And this appears to be somebody that we grabbed out of Colorado's clutches. He's a defensive lineman, 6'5", 240. And Pleasanton, California, Amador Valley High, 3-star. He chose Colorado. He was sold out for Colorado. I believe his brother, his older brother, goes there. So there was that connection. But now with things changing there in Boulder, he's here. He's an Aztec, and he looks like he's thrilled to be. I'm sure after everything shook out up there.
Well, okay. So a couple of things is, we made his final 3 before he committed to Colorado. So we had a relationship, and he decided to part ways with Colorado. There were a lot of kids that decided to part ways, but when he did, I was excited. I was like, yes. I felt, honestly, I was really confident that we were going to land him. He got an offer from ASU soon after, but I know we had the relationship. So when that happened, I think he probably wanted to go to a program at that point that he could probably trust a little bit and felt a little bit safer. Because for everything, people are psyched for what Prime's doing. There's a lot of upheaval too. There's a lot of kids that are there currently that are either being forced out or there's just a lot of change. So I think, having like a stable coach like Brady Hoke in the fold might have been something that is that you could kind of want it at that point. But watch his film. He's really strong. I think he could set the edge on out wide. I think he could provide some pass rush. He's one of these kids that I think he could put on he could be like a 260-pound kid by the end if they end up keeping him at the end and don't move him out wide.
Sorry. Yeah, he's definitely a hand down guy for me. I could even see him filling out and playing interior, playing at the tackle as well. He kind of reminds me of like that Ernie Lawson kind of guy, like a big physical like front setter. So yeah, I'm really excited. We don't have a lot of guys like that in the program right now. So it's nice to get a big physical body that they can plug in there at all three of the defensive line spots. A guy who can come in and be productive. And he's another one who probably won't be sitting that long before he sees the field.
And that's one of the things I thought we missed last year in our defensive line is we lacked some athleticism up front or ability to play different positions on the line, like Cam Thomas. That's what he did great. He could play inside, he could play outside. I want him to be in the 255 to 260 range like Cam Thomas was. So hopefully, we could use him. And he's really high rated. He's an 87 on 247, top 1,000 recruit. So it's, be pumped, be excited for him. We're lucky on this one.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited, and Sinn Brennan's excited to play with Caleb and Brady. So, hey, man, I love to hear that. Let's move along. Number 5 on the list. We are looking at a safety spot, 6'1", 195 out of Jurupa Hills. I believe that is in Fontana. Jordan Napier. We love the Inland Empire guys, and Jordan, man, I'm hearing a lot of good things. He chose the Aztecs over Washington, Oregon, Arkansas, Texas A&M, San Jose, and some others in the Mountain West as well. What are our thoughts on Jordan, guys?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. So there's a lot of San Diego State fans are kind of bummed about losing out on Isaiah Cox. And to me, it wasn't ever that big of a deal because I was really happy, really excited about the 3 safeties we were bringing in. It's almost like, how much more were you going to bring in? High rated, good offers. He plays both sides of the ball. Good size. This is another one that you could be on the composite. He's a top 800 recruit. So, I mean, these guys are, and he's coming from an area where we recruit really well, right in that Riverside, Inland Empire. These are our type of kids.
Yeah, anytime we can get a quality Inland Empire safety, come on, man. I don't see how you could be disappointed. Like you said, there's only so many safeties you can bring in. And, a talented kid like him, any other year, he would be like one of our higher rated recruits, like our highest rated recruit. And so this is a big time get. As far as I know, like his offers from like Colorado and Arkansas were like legit offers. So I'm definitely pumped to see him play. And he's another rangy, big safety. Like I said, we have one safety he's listed as 6 foot, but the other guys are all 6'1", 6'2", 6'4". So yeah, I'm excited to bring all these big safeties into the fold and see where they line up.
By the way, this is another Kyle Hoke recruit. And also Kyle Hoke helped out on Ryan Silver as well. He's one of our more unsung recruiters on our staff, and probably deserves a little bit more praise because he's finding some ballers, man. Like he's doing really well. So I'm excited. And this is one where I think Napier and there's either Ratcliffe or McLaughlin. I think it was Ratcliffe. We'll probably talk about soon. They committed really quick, so it brought some like energy, momentum again. There's a lot like momentum matters in recruiting, and for a short while we had a lot of it, and we were bringing in these kids. So I think we could get it again next year if we start strong.
All right. Well, Jordan Napier, we got one more name on the list before we get into our local recruits, but it's a big one, guys. And when we signed this quarterback, when we had the commitment of this quarterback, everybody was curious to see, okay, is going to see the commitment through. And we are talking about Javance Johnson. I want to make an attempt on the name. I want to try Javance Tupou'ata. Forgive me, I got to practice that one. Quarterback, 6'4", 205, Chaminade High, but he also spent his first 3 years at Notre Dame High. What are you going to say, Dan? Are you going to correct me?
I want to tell people, like, we never hear these names said, right? You're only ever reading them. No one never hear them pronounced. But man, I mean, this guy had a lot of offers early on. He actually had a good year. He's I don't want to say he's like Maiden, but he's like Maiden kind of, the thing that really makes Maiden special is his pocket presence. I'm not sure if he has that yet or if that's something that will come in time. Yeah. But from his size, athletic ability, and I think he, Hecklinski recruited him, but I think he must have watched what Ryan Lindley did with Maiden and how that all worked out, and it must have only confirmed his commitment,
I'd have to think so, man. I'd have to think so, and I agree with you. I see like similarities as far as standing tall in that pocket, being a bigger build guy. He doesn't run first, but he can. You know what?
And Maiden doesn't run first, and I like that. I don't want the run first thing that we dealt with the last 3 years of, whether it's Lucas Johnson, Brookshire, or Braxton, whatever it may be. I want someone that sits in that pocket and looks down the field.
So this past year, he led the Eagles to a 10-3 record, almost 1,700 yards, passing, 15 touchdowns. And, he had offers from Arizona State, BYU, Florida State, Kansas, Oregon, Pittsburgh. You always love it when they choose the Aztecs over BYU. Gotta love that.
Yeah, I was just going to chime in with that, but I was on mute still. I know he was recruited, I don't want to say heavily, but he was recruited by BYU to play quarterback. And say what you will about BYU, but they're pretty good about picking out quarterbacks. So I the last one we got from recruiting that was kind of heavily pursued by BYU was Christian Chapman, and he turned out to be pretty good. And had he played in a probably the offense we're running now, he probably would have been even better. So yeah, he brings a lot to the table. He's big, athletic, got a good arm. He played. I think they went pretty deep in the playoffs, right? His high school team this year.
Yeah.
So he's a winner. So you like that. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see him get on campus and see what he can contribute.
Well, the quarterback room is definitely elevated. That's one thing we could say, after this past year, I think, is that room is going to be some fun competition these next few years, man. I'm excited to see it. A lot of arm talent there. I just hope, like you guys saying, the pocket presence is something that each guy is going to be judged and ranked on accordingly. So excited about it. All right, how you guys doing? You guys holding up okay? You guys need a drink, a bathroom break, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm running to get a drink real quick. You guys can keep going though. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around with us. We've been going on for a little while, but hey, before we get into the local guys, definitely want to encourage everybody once again to go check out sonsofmontezuma.com. You can get our gear, t-shirts, flannels, beanies, hats, everything, steins, pints, all that good stuff. We don't ask for donations, nothing like that. If you're going to spend your money towards your fandom at San Diego State, you might as well get something in return for that. Aside from our projects and our creativity and all the things that we do content wise, might as well get some gear, right? Come wear it at
at the tailgates that we're looking forward to do many more of. So appreciate. Yeah, definitely hit that like button and subscribe. Our subscriber numbers have been going up, which we really appreciate. We keep this thing going on. This is our 3rd annual recruiting show, something like that. Our 4th season of doing podcasts. I know that's for sure. So, okay, should we get into the local recruits? Now, there's only 3 immediate local recruits that we signed in this 2023 class, but they're big ones, and I'm really excited about each one. Let's start with the first one. He's number 3 on our list, on our ordered list. This isn't in necessarily any kind of specific order, but he's out of Lincoln, the state champions. Chris Fewell, linebacker, 6'2", 195. Man, so proud to see Lincoln put it down this year, dude. They've got something special out there. You can see him. He was, I think, a co-MVP at the McCossie Bowl. And, man, he had a big junior year, a great senior year with the team. And, man, he 13-1, decided to stay local at San Diego State. He really wanted to represent the city. Picked up offers from Colorado State, Utah State. What do you guys think about Chris Fewell? Is he? I think he was kind of underrated. I think a lot of people thought so.
I think. Well, real quick, can I say something about Javance Johnson real quick? He actually, one thing we forgot to mention is Cal Berkeley was coming hard at him at the end, and he stayed loyal. A lot of people don't know about that, but anyways, back to
all right,
Chris. Yeah, so I think he's underrated. I think the kid's a baller. Like, he's a playmaker. He's kind of comes from the Shawcroft mold, not from a size or athletic, but just of making plays, being around the ball, making impact plays. He was just an MVP at the Makasaki Bowl. It was part of it.
McCossie.
There you go. But I mean, my questions, I guess, with them is where he's going to play at the next level. And I think he's light. He's smaller still. If he's going to be linebacker, he's going to have to put on some size. And you don't want it to kind of disrupt his speed by putting on too much weight. He kind of has a slider build. But his football instincts and his playmaking, it's really good. Like, he's meant to play football. I'm just curious to see how the staff plans on using him.
I could see him playing at any of the linebacker spots other than like the line of scrimmage linebacker spot. He kind of reminds me of, remember Nick Tenhaff? I know I screwed his name up.
Yeah,
Nick Tenhaff. He's kind of a lankier, leaner linebacker. He might give up a little bit. I could see him being about 225 when he's done. And he's one of those guys that he's going to be able to fly all over the field, make tackles, and just be, like you said, a producer, a guy that's going to clean things up. He's not going to be a guy that can get up on the line of scrimmage and put pressure, really, in my opinion, off the edge or stuff like that. But he's one of those guys he's one of those linebackers you need that's going to suck up everything and clean up everything that gets by all of the guys trying to make the tackles for losses. He's one of those guys that'll stop a 5-yard run for being a 15-yard run, or, a 2-yard run for being a 10-yard run. He's just a guy that's going to clean things up. I see him probably maybe playing the middle or possibly the weak side. But yeah, he can, to me, I'm not as worried about his build as Dan is. I just think because of the way the game is with the spread and everything, you'd rather have a guy like him to kind of get to cover the field better. So I'm not as worried about that. He's just one of those guys, like he said, like Shawcroft. He's got a nose for the ball, a nose for making things happen. So I'm really excited. I think he's a good kid. He's an under the radar guy, just mainly for the reasons Dan said, is his build. I'm just happy to get a Lincoln guy because we normally don't do very well when we recruit that school. So hopefully that'll kind of open things up for Lincoln.
And I mean, that's one thing is he's a winner. And he makes winning plays. I kind of see, like, if he maybe like some Tariq Thompson, to where he's really intelligent and he could probably play even further back than necessarily in the front seven. I think they could use him in multiple places. I'm just kind of curious to see what they're going to do.
I think I saw a crazy stat when he was a junior or something. He had like 3 interceptions and he returned them all for pick sixes, which is, just that instinct, man. He's just the football player.
He has a good feel for the game. That's what I always thought, like Tariq did. That he wasn't the greatest athlete, wasn't the biggest guy.
All right. Chris Fewell, number 3. All right, we're down to number 2 on the list. Who's it going to be? Who are we talking about? Our other local recruits. We're looking at from Cathedral Catholic. Number 2 on our list is Marcus Ratcliffe, a safety, 6'3", 190 out of Chula Vista, California. I'm sure Ricky Torrado's a big fan of Marcus Ratcliffe. What's going on, Marcus? What do you guys think?
So this is another reason why I wasn't worried about losing that safety I mentioned earlier. He a 6'3", comes from a powerhouse school, just like the other 2 kids that we're bringing in. That's something they all 3 have in common. He recruited early. He had offers. He could have went to a lot of different schools. Big, physical. He was pumped. He actually helped promote San Diego State like after his recruitment, trying to get other kids, and he was on KUSI. Really came out and promoted the school. Really high rated, another top 1,000 recruit. Another Kyle Hoke recruit. So I know that's another kid. Be excited. Watch him. Watch his tape. Watch how he plays. He's big. He could be someone from his size that he might get on to the field sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think he's the one you were talking about who kind of got the ball rolling, get the momentum going earlier in the recruiting process. I think he was like the initial guy that committed, that had some solid offers, pretty highly rated, and guys saw him commit and were like, hey, I think Napier jumped on not too long after. It may be vice versa, but those 2 kind of were the ones that got the ball rolling and got guys like, hey, they got the momentum going. San Diego State is like, you can still commit there. You can commit there early. And yeah, I was glad to see them hang on to him as well, because I was worried, you always get excited when those hometown guys commit, but sometimes, as the season goes on, they're like, hey, maybe I want to take some trips and, check out, maybe I want to go away for college, which, I don't blame a kid for wanting to go away for college. But it was really good to see him stick around. You could tell pretty early that was going to be the case. But yeah, man, these safeties they brought in this year, geez, man, there's going to be so much size in the secondary. The way they've recruited, especially this year, but in the last couple of years, they've kind of added 1 or 2 guys, like the 3 they've added this year, that are just monsters back there. They're going to cover so much ground, and I think that's great for all the spread offenses we're going to be going against in the Pac-12.
All right. Well,
a reaction from you guys on that one?
I like what you guys were saying, pumping up San Diego State. He was out there with I believe he played with Rambo Meggio, and of course Lucky Sutton out there at Cathedral Catholic, right? Yeah, so a lot of Aztec love out there, a lot of Aztec love. Okay, we're down to the last one on the list, and it's a big boy. Aztecs have a little bit of a history of getting these big offensive linemen locally and having them stay home. And this next recruit on our list, number 1 on the list, is Jonah Rodriguez. He is 6'4", 275 out of Madison High. He, just look at the kid, dude. He's just that prototypical, like I said, local offensive lineman, just a big boy, mean streak. And we kept him local. I love that, what was it? I think it was KUSI, the Prep Pigskin. He won the, there it is right there. He won the, what was it, like the something hog award?
Iron Hog.
Iron Hog award. I mean, that's awesome. I love to see that. They do such a great job over there, celebrating the local kids, man. The Iron Hog. I mean, he's a big boy. Was it Arizona State, Boise State? Everybody was after this kid, and he chose to stay home. All right, what are your thoughts, Jonah Rodriguez?
So he was one of the. So he's been known for a couple of years now, and a year or 2 years ago, he was like blowing up the camp circuit, just performing really well. You're getting a write up from 247 like every week, just based like, hey, best offensive lineman out here, most athletic, really could do it all. So he's been known for a while, and I know San Diego State offered him early, but then as the season, the last few years went on, it seems like something happened to where he thought San Diego State wasn't maybe recruiting him as hard as they should. He sent some hints out there, which I'm glad he did, because eventually I think San Diego State turned up the heat and really started pursuing him. And this is a kid when he's in your backyard and coming from another powerhouse school that you want to get. He's kind of like the prototypical offensive lineman that you're going to want. He has positional flexibility. I'll let James get into that a little bit more, but he does a little bit of everything. And he drug the recruitment out a little bit longer, and we didn't know where he was going. He took his visits. So to win this one the way we did was satisfying, because this wasn't an easy recruitment. So I saw how happy his family was that he chose SDSU. I think he could be a good ambassador for other local kids for the following years to come in, and excited to watch him play.
Yeah, he's I was a little worried as well, whether the school slow played him or he slow played the school. Whoever was doing it, I was worried that it was going on too long and something was going to happen. Because a kid like this, Madison, I think his junior year, it was either his junior. Yeah, I want to say it was his junior year. They had a really good running game, and their offensive line was like the focal point of that. They were just physical, blow people away. And like Dan said, he's the prototypical like modern college offensive lineman. Look at him. He's listed at 6'4", 275, and watch those videos of him. There's like not any fat on him, hardly. He's not a big fat kid coming in, out of shape. He's already got good weight on him. So when he gets up to 200, what was that?
Jeez, man.
No, I mean, I'm saying, look at his build compared to a lot of the other kids coming in. When he gets up to 290 pounds, he's going to be a rock solid 290 pounds. So yeah, he's one of those guys that he could play earlier than anticipated as well, just because of his physicality, his athleticism, his experience, and his aggression. He brings a total package, man. He's a guy. He's gonna be really fun to watch. He's probably one of the better offensive line recruits we've had, besides Simmons, in quite some time, man. He's. I mean, look at that picture, like the video of him right there. Like, does that look like an offensive lineman to you, man? Yeah.
They were just showing him on that video too when he was out in the camps. And when you're at these camps, he's going against some other elite players. And he got to show his footwork, his athleticism. So, hey, this is one that all like SDSU fans were following. This was the recruit this year. Maybe last year was Lucky Sutton. It was Jonah Rodriguez this year.
Yeah, it's definitely a great get. I'm glad. However it worked out, I'm glad they got the deal done, because you can't let a kid like this get away from you. He's in your backyard, the local powerhouse. He wants to go to your school. Make it happen, man. There should be no reason this should have gone on this long, but I'm just happy they got the deal done.
Top 700 recruit.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm glad the way he did it too, man. He relished in his moment on KUSI, did the announcement with the hat, and you could see, all the local love, all the family love that he's gonna love playing in front of them at the new stadium, in front of friends and family. And like you said, just glad they got the deal done, got the commitment done, got the signing done. Another big guy on the line, local, man. That offensive line, they're young, they're gonna be nasty, and this is adding to that list. Okay, that's all 18, but we're not done yet. We got one special guest to come in to get his opinions on the local scene, and that is none other. Let's see if we could bring him in. Let's see if we can make this happen.
Oh man.
Let's see if we can make this happen correctly. He joined us, I believe it was before the season last year. And it's none other than Ruben Peña Sr. of SDFNL. If you guys don't know who that is, you need to go look it up. They stay on top of all things high school football locally here. They've got their big annual bowl game coming up, I believe this Friday or so. So as we get him on in the room, want to pump that up. And there is the man right there. There he is. He's been a good friend to us this past season, man. Can you hear us, Ruben? What's going on?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing, man?
Loud and clear. What's up?
Hey, over here getting ready for our game.
Yeah. This
Must be
Friday,
fun.
right?
Yeah, we got a game coming up this Friday night at 6 o'clock. We had to change it because of the field. It's a headache getting high school fields, man, together. But we got a great group of kids coming out, man. Mostly D2, D3, NIA guys. They're gonna play football, but at a different level. But they're still studs, man. They're still getting it down. I got 2 kids that are probably D1. We're trying to get them somewhere, and hopefully, man, you never know. We could get something over San Diego State. I hope, Get one.
Are they all 2023 kids?
Yeah, these are all 23 kids, and I don't know if you guys know, but Shaw over at that plays with the Aztecs. He also played in our game last year.
Right. Yeah. No.
It was. I don't know. It was. Yeah, I think it was last year because I think the previous years was the COVID year. So
He has a brother who's playing, right? That's pretty good as well.
yeah, he played in our game too. Yeah, he's really
Nice.
good. Yeah. So
Yeah, he's
just
at USD.
doing our part to develop these kids and get them out there, man.
I remember when you joined us last time, man, and kind of explain what you guys do with this game. And man, we're all about it, man. It's a great thing you guys are doing. And yeah, that's proof in the pudding, man. Guys like Mekhi Shaw, under the radar guys, and hey, give them a chance. You never know.
I mean, Rashid Shaheed played in our game too, man. And look at him now, man, living the dream over New Orleans.
Yeah.
I
was
mean,
watching that. Flying.
San Diego State missed out on that guy, man. But Weber State got himself a good guy, and hey, he's doing good things now. Good for him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and where's the game at again? I know you said it. Where is it at?
It's gonna be at Mission Bay High School.
Mission Bay High, 6 p.m. on Friday. So yeah, where can people how can they go?
They can go to www.sdfnlmagazine.net, and all the information's on there with the rosters and the pricing. And then if you guys want to show up, just fill out the form, get a media pass, and I'll get you guys on the field.
All right, okay. Hold you to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the Aztec kids, the Aztec recruits, we just got finished talking about the last 3, Chris Fewell, Marcus Ratcliffe, and Jonah Rodriguez, man. What are your thoughts on these local guys coming to state?
Well, I'll start with Chris Fewell, man. I mean, that Lincoln group was just loaded on the defensive side and also the offensive side. But Chris is kind of quiet guy, man. But when he goes on the field, he handles his business. He's a big dude. I think they got him down as a linebacker right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They got him down as a linebacker right now. He's just an excellent football player, man. He's just getting it done. He kind of got lost in the shuffle with JoJo and all the other defensive guys that were there, but he's gonna be a big part of the Aztecs, and I'm confident that the guys over there did a good job in recruiting Fewell, man. I mean, he's been on board already. I think he's been on board already for like 2 or 3 months, and he still hasn't said, hey, I'm not gonna go here anymore. But he stuck it out. I saw him at the game a couple of times. I seen him on the field. He's a great kid, man, and I think we got as a stud coming to San Diego State. I did have a chance to talk to his defensive coach, man, and I'll just read a little bit of something that he kind of told me. Really quick, where you at? I'll read it out loud because it's a pretty good thing that he wrote about him, man. He said, I asked him, hey, let me know a little bit about Chris, man, how he is, what kind of person he is. He's kind of quiet, man, but he goes, Chris is great kid, very versatile, played multiple sports throughout his 4 years, so he can go to college and play wherever he wants. He's played off the edge his sophomore year, junior switch back inside back. His senior year, we started off with him off the edge. Then we had injuries. They had to rotate some guys, so moved him to nickel spot, and then had to move him back to inside linebacker because one of the inside backers went down. Chris played edge inside linebacker and nickel. He said it's not easy for them to do it, but because of his talent, he was able to get that done. He's real coachable. He's probably played for the craziest, most demanding defensive coordinator ever took the coaching, which is Bashif. Coach Bashif is good. He's a great guy over there. And he said he feels he got snubbed for the CIF, but he's going to talk. He got us to the state championship, and everybody in Lincoln loves him, and they hate to see him go, but they know he's going in a good place at San Diego State.
Cool.
Nice. See, that's interesting, James. He played some nickel too.
Yeah. It's like kind of like a Swiss Army knife, man. He can play anywhere.
He's a talented guy, talented young man, and they had a great season too. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys followed them. They went to the CIF championship, and then they went to the state championship, and just dominated LA teams, man, and the Northern team also.
Yeah.
I'm looking on our chat real quick, Rube, and Robert Asensio is asking, does this name Samuel Cooper from UC?
Yeah.
Does he have a chance as an outside linebacker DN in D1?
It's gonna be tough. I'm gonna probably say no, but I mean, he's a talented kid. He's probably more, to me, he's probably more like at the USD level right now. He's gonna have to work his way to get at the D1 level. They had a McCossie Bowl for some reason. They lined him up at the defensive end. I've never seen him play that. He usually plays linebacker. He was a QB also. He's a big kid, but I mean, anything's possible if he puts his mind to it. He's a pretty athletic kid.
Okay, all right. Okay, what you got on? What do you got to say about Marcus Ratcliffe?
Mark, that's just one of the best kids I've met, man. I mean, he's just down to earth, easy to talk to, very respectful. Cathedral gets a lot of kids into colleges. Mark is going to be a shutdown corner. I've seen him play already a few times. He's a big dude. I wouldn't be surprised either if he just sneaks his way in there, his first year and gets some reps. But I feel like Marcus, out of all these guys we're talking about, I think Marcus has a chance to really do something big at San Diego State with his skills. I mean, nothing on the other guys, but I think Marcus has developed himself into probably the first person that's gonna, out of this class, that can make it into the starting lineup for these guys. He did a great job over there, shut down corner, as we know, and that's why they recruited him at San Diego State. Had a chance to also talk to him, and he's grateful to his coaches. I reached out to all these guys today, and they're all pretty good at reaching back out. And he's grateful to his coaches, and he's just ready, man. He's ready to put that red and black on, and he's ready to play Snapdragon, and he's ready to show everybody in San Diego why he's going to be a hometown hero.
So you actually see him as a corner at the next level?
Yeah. I can see him as a corner. I mean, it's up to the defensive guys. Let's see where they move him to.
Yeah. He has some nice size at the corner spot.
He's very talented. I think we got to steal on that guy, man. He's very talented.
All right. Now, somebody was asking about Jonah. Is there a chance Jonah Rodriguez? How soon could you see him getting on the line, man? How soon do you think?
Jonah's a great athlete, man. He's a big body too. Just like a lot of O-line guys that come out of high school, man. They're going to need at least a year to develop and figure out the system and settle in, man. It's kind of rare to see at San Diego State to see any O-lineman start their first year, But Jonah has the tools to do it, but I think Jonah's probably 2 years away from getting on the field and showing what he's got, and getting bigger, getting stronger. He can work on that part, and but definitely a big body and definitely a good choice. And Madison had a great season. They ran behind him, and he just opened up holes for the running back. And it's a great thing, man. I'm glad that Jonah's on board too.
Okay, all right. Now, it was brought to my attention, and it wasn't really a surprise to me, man. I kind of felt like this was the case. But this Hawaii Bowl, is Michael Shawcroft's last game as an Aztec. He made it official, posting out his goodbyes and just letting everybody know, hey, he loved being an Aztec warrior, but his body, he's gone through a lot of injuries. What are your thoughts on Shawcroft, man? And as a player, as an Aztec, as a local kid, seeing his progression through, man, all these years playing locally,
social media is, so much hype, man. And this is probably the first time I've ever seen a post like that from a college player, man. To say, instead of him saying, I'm going to enter the portal, I'm going to go to NFL, this kid is true, man. And I respect him for that. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm done playing football. My body hurts. I can't do it anymore. And this is a young guy, man. And I've seen him since Helix High School, all the way to San Diego State. And he got down. And to be honest, man, I could see him as an NFL prospect. But good for him to being a man, stepping up. And I'll reach out to him. Maybe he can come help SDFNL out, or even whatever he does, I'll always support him, man. And he's got great parents. He's got great parent support. And like I said, he did a great job, not only at Helix, but at San Diego State. I mean, we saw it, man. That guy had it. And hey, good for him, man. Good for him. Congrats to him.
Not many players get to achieve at this level, and so, man, that needs to be celebrated, man. He's a true warrior. He put it down for the Aztecs, and one of the best to do it.
I mean, did he play all 4 years, or it was only 3 years, huh?
No, I think he played all 4.
He did, huh?
I think he played as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Well, 2023 class is set. Not too many local kids, but how do you see things moving forward, man, with the recruitment and the landscape of everything, NIL and the transfer portal? I mean, what are your thoughts on how things are moving?
I got a chance to talk to Craig today too, man, and Craig sent me a message, and I told him, just give me a little bit of something on the guys that we got from San Diego, and he's happy to have all 3 of them. But he said we could have got more, but that NIL is just a killer, man, and they're competing with other schools that we just don't have that right now, man. We don't have that set up, and it was tough, and there wasn't many positions to fill. If you guys look at the portal, not many San Diego State how many San Diego State players hit the portal? 1, 2, maybe?
Yeah.
Not that many. And then you wonder how many that are hitting the portal are kind of getting edged out, I guess, of the system. Like, I don't think there's a lot of players leaving the system to go find a better opportunity at a higher level.
Yeah, and that says a lot about Coach Hoke and San Diego State and the program that they handle over there. Like, if you don't see guys leaving, there's a reason they're not leaving, because they like it. They like the success. They like what's going on. They like the culture over there, and they're just doing a great job, keeping these kids together. And just being an Aztec, man, is something just different. I mean, we're in the best city in the United States, San Diego State. San Diego, California. This is the best city in the United States, and nobody can prove me any differently. Not only because I live here, but we're stepping up our game in high school, and we're gonna start stepping up a game with the Aztecs, because that's all we have, man. In football, that's all we have.
Well, and now that we're on the edge of joining potentially, right, Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12, whichever the move is, hopefully, right? I mean, yeah, it's going to be time for San Diego as a community, as a city, as a county to step up and support. If it's NIL, whatever it is, it's going to be the expectation is going to be there.
Yeah, we're going to have to compete with the big dogs. It's not a problem. I don't think it's a problem. I think we can do it. I think we still got a lot of youngsters that we still have that are being developed. It was a young team, so, I mean, going 8-4 and starting the season, what did we start at 0-3 or something like that? Was it 1-3 or something with the quarterback issue we had? Yeah. And somebody did tell me that the quarterback's coming back next year.
Yeah.
So that's a plus for us, man. I mean, that's going to help us out a lot on our side. And I just wish we'd grab some more San Diego guys, but it is what it is. And I think they did good on the recruiting, and I'm pretty sure I think they have some slots to bring some portal guys in too, but we'll see on that.
Yeah. Well, these next few weeks are going to be interesting, man. A lot of shaking, whether it's the conference expansion, we'll see. Anything else you want to leave with us, man, before we let you go? This Friday, you guys got your big game, SDFNL. Man.
Just thank you guys, man, for always supporting us, man, and being part of the community and being part of what we do. And I reach out to a lot of media outlets, and you guys help me out, and KUSI helps out a lot, and I respect you guys for that. And we're in our 11th year doing SDFNL magazine, 9th year doing the All-Star game, and it's just all, to me, it's just all like total respect for people to help me and lay it down and just be part of something special for San Diego. And I got a job, man, so I don't get paid for none of this stuff, man. I do a lot of this stuff from the kindness of my heart, man. And to see my boys at the All-Star game and the practice, and to see these young guys and have my alumni come out and talk to them, and tell them I was in this game 5, 6 years ago. Now I'm doing this, that really gets their attention. I mean, they're going to be 18-year-old kids, man, adults. So thank you guys, man. You guys have a Merry Christmas. Have a good holiday, and God bless you guys.
Thanks, man. Same to you, dude.
Thanks, Ruben. Take it easy.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Thank
man.
you. All right. So you guys heard it. Some good info there, some good intel going on. Whew, man, all 18 players, and I know somebody mentioned, are we gonna have anything about Joseph Hall? I know I saw that name. I said, well, we got to put something together. That caught me unexpected, I know, on the list. So we'll have to get back to Joseph Hall. But 18 names on the list, guys. The 2023 class so far on the early signing date. So we still got some time. Do you guys see another running back being added? Because I don't think we had any running backs this year. I wonder.
I doubt it, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's one of the problems with trying to get a running back right now. It's just, it seems like our backfield is so crowded. You let so many people run. It's, I almost wish we had less running backs.
I know you mentioned that last time. Yeah.
It's hard to get us. Like, maybe you could get a transfer again, but we got a transfer last year who still has eligibility. So
all good. Well, listen, guys, I think that's going to do it for us. We got the bowl game on Christmas Eve in just a matter of a couple of days. Like, I don't know where I'm going to watch it Christmas Eve. It's probably be with the fam watching it and, drinking my eggnog. Want to see Jalen Maiden throw for like 300, We'll see. I'm excited about it, though. Middle Tennessee State, the Blue Raiders. Let's take them down. Thank you, everybody, for checking this out. Our 3rd annual early signing day. We'll have to do an official, little review. Nothing too crazy. I'm sure James is going to be crazy busy by then. But
yeah, we'll see next month. Hopefully, man. Fingers crossed. I'll be back in San Diego.
All right, then we could really put you to work.
When do you go to that academy, James?
It's supposed to be February 1st.
Okay, cool.
So,
man.
6 weeks in February. Starting February.
All right.
But
all
it's
right.
still up
Live
to
right now.
What was that?
We're still
any
live
parting?
right now?
Yeah, man. I'm about to ask you guys your favorite Christmas songs.
Oh man. My favorite Christmas song is probably Christmas in Hollis, Queens.
Yeah. We should outro with that music on the Audible version, which this will be available on the audio version on Spotify, iHeart, all that stuff. We'll remix it and master it and all that good stuff. But thank you everybody for joining the YouTube. This was fun. I had a lot of fun, man. Thanks for everybody for joining, even players, all that good stuff. You guys got any parting shots before we log off and wish everybody a Merry Christmas?
No, man, just excited. All these kids we got. Can't wait to see them out in the field, out there putting in work, see what they can do.
Yeah, I just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and have fun on New Year's, be safe, and, have fun on watching them on New Year's or on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I hope you all get all the gifts under your tree that you want. All the Hanukkah gifts, all the Kwanzaa gifts, all the what was the Festivus, all the Festivus gifts. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. Prayers up for Ronnie Hillman. Remember him in your thoughts. Yeah. And until next time, Sons of Montezuma.com. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Getting stronger. This is how legends are made. Above it all, untouchable. A new animal. Smiling at me. It's alright. Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys for the sound. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say we rep the sound. So what you talking about? Raise Hawaii on, I am the diamond in the rough. From the land of Zion, I am the diamond in the rough. Born and raised Hawaii on, I am the diamond in the rough. From the land of Zion, I am the diamond in the rough.
7 for the Aggies. He steps up, he's in trouble, and he sacks. Keyshawn Banks, the 3-time All-Conference player. Oh, Daniels goes down, and San Diego State takes over. Another blitz. Wow, Reels flushed and caught and dropped. Keyshawn Banks. For the Aggies, he steps up, he's in trouble, and he sacks. Keyshawn Banks, the 3-time All-Conference player. Oh, Daniels goes down, and San Diego State takes over. Another blitz. Wow, Reels flushed and caught and dropped. Keyshawn Banks.